Tragic accident claims 3 lives on Soesdijk-Linden Highway. iNews Guyana reports. A serious accident on the Soesdijk-Linden Highway has resulted in the deaths of 3 individuals. The crash occurred in the early hours of today when the car they were traveling in collided with a parked truck. Job opportunities. The deceased have been identified as Shelley Joseph, Kieron Wells, and 7-year-old Moranzo Campbell, all formerly of Cemetery Road, Timeri. Reports indicate that Campbell's father, Mario, was driving the vehicle at the time of the incident. The group was reportedly returning from Linden when the crash occurred around 1 o'clock HRS. This is a developing story, and further details will be provided as they become available. Fatal accident on Rupert Craig Highway. Police are investigating a tragic accident that occurred on August 15, 2025, around 23:30 hours on the Rupert Craig Highway, near the Russian embassy, resulting in the death of a pedestrian. The accident involved motor car number PXX 8048, owned and driven by 26-year-old Christopher McPherson. Preliminary inquiries indicate that McPherson was traveling east in the southern drive lane at a high speed when a male pedestrian, whose identity and address are currently unknown, suddenly ran from the northern side of the road into the path of the vehicle. McPherson attempted to swerve north to avoid a collision, but due to the short braking distance, the front of the car struck the pedestrian. The impact caused the pedestrian to be thrown onto the road, with part of his body ending up under the vehicle. He sustained severe head and body injuries. Emergency services were called to the scene, and upon arrival, EMT Dr. Harikishan pronounced the pedestrian dead at the scene. A notice of intended prosecution has been served to Christopher McPherson, and he remains in police custody to assist with the ongoing investigation. A breathalyzer test conducted on McPherson revealed no traces of alcohol. The investigation is ongoing as police work to gather further details and determine the circumstances surrounding the incident. Thorough investigation into Mohammeds will be conducted after elections. Jagdeo. In a recent press conference, Dr. Barrett Jagdeo, General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party/Civic, PPP/C, and Vice President of Guyana, announced that the Guyana Defense Force, GDF, and the Guyana Police Force, GPF, will conduct a thorough investigation into businessmen Azruddin and Nazar Mohammed following the September 1st general and regional elections. Jagdeo emphasized that this decision aims to avoid politicizing the investigation during the final weeks of the campaign. Job opportunities. Jagdeo stated, "State agencies should put things on pause until after the elections and then thoroughly investigate these claims," insisting that if credible evidence is found, charges should be filed. He linked the timing of the investigation to national sensitivities, asserting, "This is our territorial integrity and sovereignty at stake." The controversy stems from allegations that Nazar Mohammed visited the Venezuelan embassy in Georgetown, with Jagdeo claiming that these visits were not isolated incidents. He questioned the family's intentions, asking, "Why would people want to go for a Venezuelan visa at this time?" Jagdeo urged the Mohammeds to publicly deny the visit or clarify its purpose. His statements follow comments from Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd, who revealed that the Venezuelan ambassador confirmed that members of the Mohammed family had applied for visas. Todd framed the situation as a potential threat to Guyana's sovereignty and raised concerns about election interference. Job opportunities. The Mohammeds have faced scrutiny since U.S. Congress members labeled Azruddin Mohammed as Maduro's puppet. Both Azruddin and Nazar have denied the allegations and the claims regarding their embassy visits. However, Jagdeo referred to the situation as a family enterprise, insisting that public clarifications are necessary given the geopolitical implications. Jagdeo challenged the Mohammeds directly, saying, "Prove me a liar now. I am willing to stake my entire political career on the fact that he did go to the Venezuelan embassy." He also referenced a past controversial visit by the Mohammeds to Barbados, speculated to involve a meeting with U.S. prosecutors regarding legal issues. Jagdeo suggested that the timing of the embassy visit could be connected to ongoing legal troubles faced by the Mohammeds, who are under U.S. sanctions for alleged gold smuggling and are also charged with tax evasion in Guyana. President Irfan Ali has previously categorized the sanctioned businessman as a risk to the country's financial stability and sovereignty. Job opportunities. In light of the upcoming elections, the Mohammed's actions continue to raise questions about their potential implications for national security and the integrity of the electoral process. Narcotic charges. 1 sentenced, 2 remanded. 3 individuals, including a woman, appeared in the Leonora Magistrates Court on August 15, 2025, facing cocaine trafficking charges. The accused are Joel Leander, Sat Rohan Hardawer, and Lorna Scott Williams. Leander admitted to possessing 5.442 kilograms of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking and was sentenced to 5 years in prison, along with a fine of $8,163,000. Both Hardawer and Scott Williams pleaded not guilty and have been remanded to prison pending trial. Scott Williams faces an additional charge for possessing 3.592 kilograms of cocaine for trafficking, which he also denied. Scott Williams has a prior criminal history. In 2015, she and her husband were charged with trafficking cocaine and cannabis, and they were convicted in 2017. Any attempt to rig the elections will have serious consequences, Norton warns PPP. Aubrey Norton, presidential candidate and leader of the A Partnership for National Unity, APNU, has issued a stark warning to the People's Progressive Party Civic, PPP/C, government regarding the upcoming elections, which he calls the most consequential in Guyana's history. Speaking at a campaign rally in Vredenhoop on August 16, 2025, Norton stated that any attempt to tamper with the election results will face serious repercussions, job opportunities. While the APNU has avoided street protests in the past, Norton emphasized his readiness to take a strong stand against any electoral fraud. "You are not going to be allowed to rig these elections," he declared, stressing the importance of monitoring the election process to prevent illegal activities. Norton criticized the PPP/C for 5 years of governance that he claims has shown contempt for ordinary citizens. He urged unity among Guyanese to prevent ethnic tensions, asserting that peaceful protests would not be the solution. Job opportunities. The APNU's campaign is centered around a people-centered manifesto, with Norton encouraging voters to choose wisely to move the country away from poverty and corruption. He characterized a vote for the PPP as a vote for injustice and continued wrongdoing. Promising merit-based contracts for small contractors, Norton rejected the idea of political favoritism under an APNU government. Alongside him, attorney and APNU candidate Dr. Dexter Todd emphasized the need for integrity in leadership, recalling a time when citizens felt safe under the law. As Guyana approaches the polls on September 1st, Norton's message resonates with a call for accountability and a commitment to a governance that prioritizes the people. Job opportunities. Officer completes prestigious strategic logistics course in China. The Chief of Defense Staff, Brigadier Omar Khan, congratulates Captain Jermis Batson on completing the Logistics Staff Officer course at the PLA Joint Logistics Support Force University in Chongqing, China. Conducted from September 1, 2024 to July 8, 2025, this comprehensive program gathered military professionals from 48 nations, focusing on operational logistics and international cooperation. Captain Batson's training covered logistics command, sustainment planning, defense tactics, and modern logistics frameworks, utilizing lectures, simulations, and field exercises. Graduating as a qualified logistics staff officer, QLSO, Captain Batson is now poised for advanced leadership in logistics, enhancing the Guyana Defense Force's operational capabilities, especially in challenging deployments. His achievement reflects the GDF's commitment to a modern officer corps and strengthens military cooperation between Guyana and China. The GDF expresses gratitude to the PLA University and the Government of China for their hospitality and support throughout the course, which significantly enriched the training experience. $250,000 bail for contractor accused of obtaining money by false pretense. Turbhoen Ramjit, a 38-year-old contractor from Bath, West Coast Burbus, was granted $250,000 bail after appearing before Magistrate Annette Singh at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. He faces charges of obtaining money by false pretense. Ramjet pleaded not guilty to allegations that he defrauded Nalini Ramcharan of $1.3 million between June 1st and July 31st, 2025, by falsely claiming he could sell her 3 house lots. His attorney, Jevan Cox, argued for bail, asserting that Ramjet is not a flight risk. However, the prosecution opposed bail, citing the serious nature of the offense and the significant amount involved, expressing concerns that Ramjet might not return to court. After considering the arguments, Magistrate Singh granted bail with the condition that Ramjet report to the Brickdam police station every last Friday of the month. The case is set to resume on September 10, 2025. Over 10,000 members of disciplined forces to vote on August 22. On August 16, 2025, the Guyana Elections Commission announced that 10,481 ballots have been prepared for the disciplined forces to vote on August 22, 2025. Deputy Chief Elections Officer Anil Giddings shared this news during a media training session for the upcoming general and regional elections job opportunities. The disciplined forces, which include the Guyana Defense Force, Guyana Police Force, and Guyana Prison Service, will vote early due to their duties on Election Day, September 1, 2025. Breakdown of ballots: 6,909 for the police force, 466 for the prison service, and 3,106 for the defense force. Job opportunities: eligible voters must be over 18, registered, and listed on the disciplined forces list. Those unable to vote on August 22 can still participate in the elections on September 1 in their registered areas. 2 suspects arrested for attempted murder on Essequibo Coast. Police have arrested 2 suspects in connection with the attempted murder of Rajendra Suragpal and his father, Jagdeo Suragpal, at their home in Anna Regina, Essequibo Coast. The incident occurred on March 14, 2025, during the Fagua holiday. On that day, Rajendra returned home around 13:20 hours and was sitting under the house with his wife when 3 men approached, inquiring about his brother, Avi. After Rajendra informed them that Avi was not home, his father stepped outside to speak with the men, who then launched a violent attack. The suspects physically assaulted both Jagdeo and Rajendra, using a baseball bat and inflicting severe injuries. Both victims were treated at the Sudhi Public Hospital, where Jagdeo later discovered he had several broken ribs after flying to the United States for further examinations. Following an investigation, police arrested 33-year-old Jose Bristol. A supervisor at Superior Concrete Incorporated Bristol confessed that he and 2 accomplices were hired by businessman Andhra Parag to attack the Suragpals. He claimed to have received a promise of $1 million for the job and stated that he was paid $500,000 after the attack. Additionally, 38-year-old Kevin Day, a businessman and brother of social media comedian Bradley Sampson, has also been arrested for his alleged involvement as an enforcer for Parag. Wanted bulletins have been issued for 3 other suspects, including Andhra Parag, Jermaine Adams, and Rayfield London, as police continue their investigation. The 2 arrested suspects remain in police custody while efforts to locate the others are ongoing. Police discover 684.8 grams of marijuana at unattended chicken farm. In a recent operation, anti-crime patrol officers from Regional Police Division No. 3 conducted a successful cordon and search exercise at an unattended chicken farm located at Purika Facade, East Bank Demerara. The operation took place on Friday, during which police discovered a total of 684.8 grams of suspected cannabis, marijuana. The search was carried out between 1300 hours and 1530 hours. Initially, officers searched a storeroom and the chicken coop but found no illegal items. They then noticed a track alongside a drain, approximately 7 feet wide, and followed it for about 15 minutes. Upon investigation, they found a zinc sheet covering a gray tarpaulin, under which a green salt bag containing 3 bulky parcels of suspected cannabis was located. Additionally, a black plastic bag found nearby contained 2 more bulky parcels of suspected cannabis. The seized parcels were transported to the Leonora police station, where they were weighed, confirming a total of 684.8 grams. As of now, No arrests have been made, and investigations are ongoing to determine the source and intended use of the marijuana. Jagdeo expects increased support from indigenous communities for PPP. Vice President Barrett Jagdeo is optimistic that the People's Progressive Party Civic, PPP/C, will secure significantly more votes from indigenous communities in the upcoming September 1, 2025, elections. Speaking at his weekly press conference, Jagdeo expressed confidence that support from Amerindians, Indo-Guyanese, mixed communities, and Afro-Guyanese will lead to a larger majority than in 2020. Jagdeo clarified that the PPP/C does not need 100% of the indigenous vote to succeed, asserting that the party is not intimidated by its competitors. He criticized rival parties, particularly Azruddin Mohammed of the We Invest in Nationhood, WIN party, for attempting to sway indigenous voters while avoiding media scrutiny. In the 2020 elections, the PPP/C received 57% of the votes in Region 9, with 43% going to other parties. Jagdeo acknowledged that any votes for other parties could impact the PPP's total and expressed hope to increase their share in these communities. President Ali criticizes talent development failures in West Indies cricket. President Dr. Irfan Ali has expressed serious concerns regarding the systemic failures in talent development and management within West Indies cricket. Speaking on the British podcast The Rest is Politics, Ali, who is also the chairman of the CARICOM subcommittee on cricket, stated that the regional system has failed the sport. His remarks follow a recent humiliating defeat against Australia, where the West Indies were bowled out for just 27 runs, a record low in Test match history. This prompted Cricket West Indies, CWI, to convene an emergency summit in Trinidad and Tobago to address the crisis. "We are short on talent development and management," Ali remarked. He emphasized the need for the board to take responsibility, pointing out that while there is immense talent, the development of players, pitches, and facilities has lagged significantly. The emergency summit included CWI executives, legendary players like Sir Clive Lloyd and Brian Lara, and current team captains Roston Chase and Shai Hope. Discussions focused on improving player development pathways, enhancing domestic competitions, and providing better support for international players. CWI's CEO, Chris Daring, acknowledged the challenges ahead, but expressed optimism that a united effort could lead to a resurgence. He highlighted significant gaps in resources compared to major cricketing nations and stressed the need for dedicated facilities to foster young talent. Daring concluded that restoring the team to its former glory requires a collective commitment from the entire Caribbean cricket community.